Hello, and welcome to the Amulet D20 Twitch break, where Mass from BonkTable reviews more lists. This is our first Nords list. This is from Bathory, who is playing Turnir Slovenija. I don't know what that translates to. Someone will probably tell me later on. Maybe it's just a turn of phrase. I have no idea. That's fine. This fine gentleman is playing Nords. We have a Shaman Warlord with Turnir, so he'll give Tenacious +1 to whatever unit he's in. And then he's got was this Wreath? Wealth? Oh, not Wealth. Wreath of 100 raids. This is, I would say, kind of an interesting choice for what it's actually doing. It gives Dauntless to his unit, so they can't be broken and they're always inspired. What's fine. I don't think it's actually worth it at 30 points. Just because, like, it worked in 100k with the, what was it? Regalia of the Empire, because the units you'd be putting it on had support 3, so it was encouraging large bricks. While in Nords, the only thing you kind of really want to put it on is for a large brick is something that will either have a large frontage or something that has support. And there's very few things in Nords that have support. One of them is the Volva and her Valkyries, so I would more see it in that way. However, Bathory is using it on Raiders. He's got 5 stands with a Shaman. They're going to be Tenacious 2. They're going to be E2 with the Supremacy. They're going to have, they can't be broken, but the issue here is that they are still 4 wounds and resolve to an E2. Like, this is still, like, not an effective stat line. There was a list called Ape Raiders where it was like using 5 or 6 units of Raiders. It was kind of good, I want to say, back in January, but kind of fell out of favor by March of 2025, simply because there were too many things in the game that effectively killed this brick, even with its defensive options. There's also no Volva in this list for the healing, and that's kind of one of the things you want to be running with the Raiders. So, like, I can see where Bathory is going with, or like going to with this, but I feel like he's missing a couple tech pieces to make this fully work out. And because there's no more captains in Nords to gain light scoring, I don't really see it worth it. If I wanted a Shaman and I was playing a Shaman, I would just put him in an MSU Raiders at 120 and just be the baby carriers for the Shaman. That's fine. It's not an overcommitment of points. Right now, just right off the bat with this 5 brick of Raiders, I don't think he's going to get his value, and I think there's too many things in the game that are going to effectively kill this without much recourse. How it plays out, we once again don't know, but this is just off the list themselves. Next thing in his warband is 2 units of Bear Sharks with Savage, so this is 200 points. These guys are going to be acting like Scalpels. They're going to get the table pretty quick, like your March 6 with a banner, so they're going to be going 13 plus another 4, so 17 inches of table, so they're going to be scoring turn 3 no matter what. But you don't really want them scoring. What you really want them to do is to March, Charge, Clash with the Savage, giving you the free additional charge, or the free charge. I think it's free additional for how it works. But that's what kind of you're using for. I do like the 2 of them, simply because it gives Bathory more options on where he's going to place them and what he's going to do. One of the issues I've encountered with the Bear Sharks is that they are once again die pretty quickly. Immortal Nords has the issue of just kind of being Rune 4, and if you've talked to me before about my thoughts on Rune 4, is that it is kill me stats. It takes chip damage way too quickly. There's things where you're like getting hit by, like, I don't know, like a stand of Merc crossbows. You get 2 wounds, you know, he hits with 2 attacks, you fail 2 saves, you fail 2 resolve, there's a stand. You're like, that shouldn't have happened, I should have saved 1, but like, stuff like that does happen. One of the things, however, that is going for this list is that there's evasion 2 on basically everything. Trolls are E2, Uger are E1, Stalkers are E2, Fenrir E2, 2, yeah. So basically everything except for the Uger are E2. What is going to keep things alive, however, E2 works more on Trolls because of Dread, and there's 6 wounds, while at 4 wounds, Evasion 2 is just, you're kind of going to die when you get hit. That's the sad reality of it. However, once again, thing going for Bear Sharks is the March Charge Clash, where you can threat project super far away, a minimum, I believe, of 13 inches, without being worried of being attacked back. At that range, usually a lot of things are like, if If they are going to get to you, they have to be like March 7 and have to roll 6. Anything that's March 6 or 5, they're never going to get to you, and you're going to be getting to them for sure. So you're always going to get the drop on a lot of stuff. The thing is, if you don't kill it, because you are 5 attacks at Clash 3 on Cleave 2, if they hit you back, you might be bleeding stands, and that's kind of one of the issues with the Bear Sharks with their low wound count. They do have Tenacious 1 to try and offset that, but I tend to find like Bear Sharks get hit by anything, they start losing stands, their offensive effectiveness is lower, and they just kind of don't pan out. So Bear Shark's great closer, but don't let them get hit. Hopefully they like kill whatever they're coming into contact with. Maybe it's something that gets stuck in with the trolls here with the blooded, and they're going to be in a really good spot. Here we have a blooded. He's got Coils of Serpent for evasion +1. Yep, evasion +1 to a max 2. He is probably going into the Ogre. That'll give him evasion 2 with Oblivious Shock and Dread. I would like to see how they perform, to be honest. They are Clash 3 with 5 wounds, E2 at Resolve 3 and 5 wounds. Pretty decent stat line, especially for their point cost. Their only issue is I don't think they have enough attacks to kind of chew through stuff. Dread's going to help them stay alive with your opponent not getting inspired. They're fearless, they're oblivious. But they just don't have the same wound amount as the trolls, and they also don't have the regen as the trolls. So like once they start taking damage, that like it's not coming back like the trolls are. The trolls, you know, you blooded, rally the trolls, then you entourage into the trolls who regen 6, bring a stand back to life, inspire clash, kill somebody, and keep that grind going. And even with Cleave 1 on Clash 2, like yeah, the Ogre are Clash 3, but they have once again less attacks, trolls have 5. It kind of balances itself out, but the regen is what really makes the troll shine. While Ogre have the issue of just kind of like, how do I say this? Like they take, once again, chip damage. Once they start taking wounds, it's not coming back. There's no healing in the list. It's only regen on trolls. Coils of the Serpent, it's meaningless on the trolls because the Shaman is automatically giving them evasion +1 to evasion 2. So this is kind of forcing the Blooded to go into an Ogre thing. What I don't think is the right choice, Forward Force on the Trolls turn 2 is a much better choice. Then we got Fenner and Stalkers. Stalkers are still really good. I love them. Fenner, there's 2 units of Fenner, so this Nord's list is going to have its turn 2 scoring. Fenner are running up the table like 18 inches, and they're going to lose to get to that 20 or 20 and a half, what they need to get to, or 19 and a half to get into middle zones if need be. And because Fenner have flank, and because of how fast they are, he's going to be scoring. So that's really nice. He's got another unit Blooded. They're for sure going in this Ogre unit. He has Massive Frame, what I believe gives +2 impacts. Yep, and Linebreaker. Linebreaker on the Ogre. Is that character only? Yes, the character will get +2 impacts on the Linebreaker. So yeah, he's impact 4 there. He's got Linebreaker. He's for sure going to this Ogre. I guess he's trying to charge and do impact attacks. They got shocked, so he's going to be going up to Clash 5. And then he's going to inspire to 6. It's going to give him Relentless Blows. So this one Blooded is going to be doing ridiculous work. And maybe that's the intent here, especially with the other Blooded, is that pulling off the shock with the Ogre is going to push them up to that Clash of 5. And they'll be inspired. So then they're going to be doing Relentless Blows. So that's where a lot of the damage is coming from. Use the Trolls to hold on. Use the Raiders and Shaman, the other Raiders to sack. Have the Bear Shark support. Fenner scoring. Stalkers, you know, doing some shooting. My issue with this list is that I feel like it's too all over the place. It doesn't have a cohesive idea like the other lists we talk about. And so I think it's just a bunch of pieces that don't fit very well together. I am curious to see how Bathory does, but I can't give this the seal of approval. I think there's some like things that could be smoothed out to just make this a lot better. They're like the pieces I like are the Fenner. I do like the Trolls and the Blooded. He's got a nice reinforcement curve with the double Blooded and the Trolls. The double Blooded, the double Ogre, and the double Fenner. So turn 2, he's gonna have, if he's like failing all his rolls, he's going to have 2, 4, 6 cards in. That's going to give him an advantage right there, especially pushing up for early scoring. And then he just needs to hold on and do enough damage back to keep that lead going. And that would be his path to victory. So yeah, overall, I think the list can be smoothed out more. I do see where it's going and why he made these choices, because individually these things are good. I just don't think they work too well together. But I do wish Bathory all the best, and I think he can do well. All right, let's get to the next list. Thank you.